Xin trân trọng được kính chào và xin được đón mừng tất cả các quý vị đã đến tham dự chương trình gặp gỡ các nhà phân tích và cập nhật kết quả kinh doanh 6 tháng đầu năm của Techcombank ngày hôm nay.
It's a great pleasure to tell you that this meeting and a business update is a very important quarterly event which draws the attention of not only the analysts but also a lot of reporters and reporters of newspapers, and more importantly, we have the presence of lots of investors and stakeholders, institutional investors and individual investors from a lot of countries around the world. And they are here with us, and they also join us through the live stream. And let us begin this business update very soon. Let me introduce the leadership of Techcombank present here. Our CEO Nguyễn Lê Quốc Anh and members of the board of management of Techcombank. And these are the people who will tell you stories about Techcombank's journey over the first half of the year, as well as its transformation journey in recent years. So to start our program, I'd like to invite the CEO to share an overview picture of the bank's business performance in the first half of the year. Thank you, everyone. First, again, I'm very pleased to be here, to stand in front of you here to share with you our business results in the first half of the year. And more importantly, I just want to relate to what we have said over the last 6 quarters with every business update for every single quarter. I'd like to spend a few seconds to relate to what we said in previous years. We'd like to confirm that, obviously, we need to know that why we are here, what Techcombank is and what we are doing. Now, we would like to change the way Vietnamese people use money every day. In other words, we would like to help Vietnamese to change the way they use money so that they can optimize their cash flows and improve their own lives. When we do this, we are changing the way Vietnamese people use their money, and we also would like to bring convenience for Vietnamese people every day, and also for businesses on a daily basis. And for the results that we achieved today, this is the effort that we've made over the last 3-4 years, not just in the last 6 months. And today, our BOM members will again present to you our strategies, and would like to connect to you, and we would like to express how we are executing our strategy, and so that you can see the way we build and execute our strategy with a single objective of changing the way Vietnamese people use their money. And we would like to help Vietnamese people to make transactions more easily, conveniently, and improve their lives. So that's our main objectives. So first of all, Minh Lan will be presenting an overview of our strategy, and if you have any questions about the way we operate, about our strategies, and then Hưng will deep dive and then answer your questions via our strategy execution. After that, Ms. Phượng will present about how we deal with our difficulties via our technology systems and our services. And last but not least, Mr. Bang will wrap up about what we have done over the last 3-4 years, and what are the numbers, what are the results. So instead of focusing on numbers, we would like to explain that to you that the numbers are talking numbers. So Minh Lan, Hưng, Phượng and Mr. Bang will also present all the numbers to you. Thank you. And after this short presentation, we will spend some time on Q&As from all of you. I also hope to give you a new message here. Our bank leadership, we are building the necessary conditions for ourselves, for the economy, for society. But we need to convey this message via you guys, analysts and reporters. So I'd like you to deeply understand our numbers and our strategies, our strategic objectives, so that you can communicate them to your audiences. So that's exactly what we expect from you. To start the program, I'd like to invite Ms. Minh Lan. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Minh Lan, Chief Strategy Officer of Techcombank. And today I'm very proud to be here to give this presentation. And like my CEO just said, our ambition is to lead the change in Vietnamese people financial lives. That is the ultimate objective of Techcombank. And we have very clear strategy based on this aspiration. And we build our business models, business strategies, and financial models to reflect all our strategies and models. With all the financials and financial models, we build them every year. And every 5 years, we revise our strategy, and we also reflect on what we've done for a future implementation. So first of all, I'd like to talk about our 5-year strategy. And to date, we have been through 3.5 years on that strategy, and we are still aligning with the strategy that QA had just briefly explained. From a strategy perspective, I'd like to reaffirm that Techcombank's strategy is that we focus on revenue growth and risk management in the best possible way. And with that objective, we aim to grow our revenues higher than the growth of assets. As you can see, our asset growth, on average, we grow 17% per year, which is the maximum limit of the SBV. And every year, Techcombank also increases our equity and capital buffer, as well as our financial potential. And we are 56 trillion VND worth of equity, and we also aim to increase our liquidity. With these capital and asset perspectives, we aim to increase our revenues every year. You can see that every year we grow more than 18% on average, which is higher than our asset growth, which means that we are trying to achieve sustainable growth. And this revenue growth is focused on good revenues, for example, fee revenues, and we reduce our dependency on interest income. So this is inflected in our NFI and TOI. And our NFI is increasing, and we are leading the market in this regard. Secondly, about asset growth. In terms of ROA, return on assets, we are the most effective banks in managing our assets. And we grown 2.9% by the end of 2018. And we are still growing high in terms of ROE on the market. So I'd like to emphasize that this revenue growth picture of Techcombank is very well aligned with the strategy that we have already set. And all these numbers are about the financial numbers that we have achieved. And we focus on diversification of our revenues and risk management. Next, Also, in terms of strategy, when we zoom in our revenue, I'd like you to give this chart with our revenue in the first half. Once again, we achieve our budget for revenue, and here you can see by quarter, every quarter, you can see how we grow compared to the same quarter in the previous year. So we have achieved sustainable growth here, and you can see that normally in quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have very typical patterns. Especially we have higher growth in the later quarters of the year, but you can see that the trends of each quarter from 2016 until now. For more details, we have the indicator NII per TI. So our NII is reducing in relation to our TOI. And this represents a very big success of Techcombank, where a lot of people use our services for their transactions, and we do not collect fees for their transactions. Most importantly, during our growth, you can see that our NIM is maintained at a very high level, approximately 4%. So that is a very attractive NIM, given the context that competition is getting fierce on the market. So you can see that our revenue has been growing very sustainably and continuously and has always met our financial budgets. And you can also see the cycle of growth at Techcombank. We also have the same cycle as seasonality in the markets. With all these financials, we have become the leader in the segments that we have chosen. There are two major areas, retail and corporates. For retail banking, for example, you can see that Techcombank has achieved our objective of becoming the main bank in terms of our market share. So the first market share number is that the retail customers have chosen Techcombank for their mortgages. So we are number one in the market in terms of mortgages, and in terms of bank assurance, Techcombank has the biggest market share for bank assurance. So these are the areas for retail banking that we excel, that is becoming very popular among our customers. Another number that I'd like to share with you here, especially given this technology-driven context, we are number one in terms of mobile payment. We account for 33% of the market share on mobile banking, meaning that customers choose Techcombank as their main bank for their mobile payment. This is due to the technology that we have chosen to adopt at Techcombank. So that's why people have chosen Techcombank as their mobile payment bank. In terms of corporate banking, we are also very successful. We are the number one bank in terms of capital arrangement and solution provision for large corporations and businesses. And we have the number one market share in terms of bonds and financial arrangements, helping large corporations a lot. We are not the main lender, but we are the one who arrange capital for them. I'd like to emphasize that in the future, Techcombank will be the first bank to invest in a technology platform, or TB platform, transaction banking platform, which is consuming a lot of money. We have partnered with AT&T, which is world famous for transaction banking. And this promises that Techcombank will continue to provide transaction banking solutions for businesses so that we can create a very considerable competitive edge on the local market. So businesses will choose Techcombank to bank as their main bank. And that will become the biggest milestone in this investment endeavor. In terms of strategy, there's another thing I'd like to share with you. How do we manage our risks? And we have chosen the best risk management strategy. As you can see here, the rating agencies like Moody's or S&P always give us the highest credit rating in Vietnam, the same level, the same rating as the national rating for Vietnam. This is the rating from independent rating agencies, which makes us very proud. And this is also in alignment with the strategy that we have chosen. Another thing I'd like to share with you is that with all the choices that we have made, given our ROE ratios, we are competing with the best regional banks such as BCA or HDFC. You can see on the slides that I'm showing here, this is the overall picture of how we chose our strategies. If you look at the ROE and ROA, you can see where we are in the regional markets. We are leading in the Vietnamese markets, and we are also competing strongly with regional banks in terms of ROE and ROA. Having said that, like our CEO just said earlier, analysts and investors and reporters keep asking us questions like, given Techcombank's growth strategies, given our risk management strategies, how can Techcombank deal with concentration risks? Everybody talks of Techcombank as the #1 in terms of mortgages provider. It means that we provide loans for real estate consumers a lot. How can Techcombank manage these concentration risks? This is a very common question that we often receive from analysts and developers and investors. We think this is an area of discussion that we can always bring up. And the second question that we often received from investors and analysts is that, given the policy of the SBV of limiting credit growth, now Techcombank wants to grow fast. How can Techcombank grow given the SBV tight credit control? So that's the second most common question that we received. And the third common question that we received is that, what is the pressure from other peers in the market? So the NIM may decrease. So how can Techcombank maintain such a high NIM in your financial budget? So these are the three most common questions that people ask us and that we ask ourselves as well. In this strategy update, this is a huge opportunity for us to be here, for you to share with you our strategy. Now I'd like to invite my colleague, Mr. Hưng, head of the Sales and Distribution Division of Techcombank, to share with you other aspects.
Thank you, Minh Lan. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Phùng Quang Hưng, head of SD, Sales and Distribution of Techcombank. And Minh Lan has been very right about the three common questions that we have received from analysts and investors. And I want to confirm that those questions or those issues had been anticipated and accounted for in our 2016 and 2020 strategy, because they are core issues that we need to think of. we have shared with you this one-page strategy of Techcombank, and today is the great opportunity for us to review this strategy. So, you can see at the center, which is our basis focus, customer-centric or customer centricity. We do not work with every customer, with every business sector, but we select right people, right customer, and right segment to work with. And we always say to ourselves that we want a low risk and high return model. So it is very important for us to have the basics foundations. What are the foundations? So it is people excellence, which means we need to train our staffs to be capable enough to implement our strategy. The second foundation is risk and operational excellence to ensure that we have enough capability to be efficient and also manage our risk and also manage the customer journey. And we do everything to serve customer best. And the third foundation that we work on is data excellence. Data here is the customer data, customer behavior or customer habits. So those are the key foundations for us to manage risk and also better serve our customers. So with those foundations, we aim the very clear objective that you can see on the right-hand side. 4 products per customer, for example. So we want to serve all needs of the customers so that they can use, on average, 4 products of Techcombank. Banks here does not mean lending and depositing only, but we also focus on payment. How can we enhance cashless payment, and how can we become the main bank of our customer? So with the strategy here, we want to provide the best solutions, best service and products to our customer. At the same time, we can manage risks effectively. And the second objective is 30% of TOI growth, as Ms. Minglan has just shared with you. And the third objective is the bank wants to account for 10% of the market share. And we want to grow bigger to earn more profit, and also to ensure the healthy cost-to-income ratio. So those foundations and those objectives encourage us to become the best bank in Vietnam, and also to become the bank with the largest market cap. So with the strategy here, we identify 3 main areas to be discussed about. So the first one is credit concentration risk. So how we manage our risk. So, we work with very big corporations in Vietnam with a very good credit risk or credit rating. And we try to disperse the risk. And you can see on the slides the very healthy numbers. Just like Ms. Minglan has just said with you, that a lot of people say that we work a lot with real estate partners. However, it's not true, because you can see that construction and real estate only constitute for 70% of our loan balance. And the risk-weighted assets for the real estate only accounts for 13% of the overall bank risk-weighted assets. And also our credit concentration risk is well under the regulatory limits at 15%. And if you look at our balance sheet, we divide here by different segment, SME or BB customer or retail customers. So you can see that the construction from wholesale banking decreases and the contribution from BB or PFS customers increases strongly. And if you compare the numbers of this year to the same period of last year, you can see that retail banking grow 30 or 32%. So that is how we dispersed our risk to the low-risk segments. What about mid-long-term loans? How we can arrange our capitals for the mid-long-term loans? And as you know that we are Techcombank is the market leaders in terms of capital management or arrangement in Vietnam. So we provide bond issuance advisory services to corporates, and because we served about 40% of wealthy customers in Vietnam. And that helps us to increase non-stop fee income. Another thing worth talking about is that we focus on 6 business sectors. And these 6 economic sectors account for around 48 GDP of Vietnam's. And also it serves the majority of customer needs. For example, houses, auto, or financial services, or even daily needs such as utilities and telecom and FMCG. So you can see here the 6 economic sectors that we're focusing on. So housing, auto, financial services, travel and leisure, utilities and telecom, and FMCG. So I want to highlight here, credit is just one need of our customers. We also focus on or concentrating on other economic sectors as well, and we try to connect these economic sectors together. And that is how we can bring values to the whole value chain, from the manufacturers to the end users. And we're trying to bring the best or the highest values to our customers throughout the value chain. And here is one of our example, real estate. Real estate and FMCG is the two main factors, two main sectors that we choose to focus on. And here you can see one example about real estate. And you can see the numbers here. For example, the exposure for developers only accounts for 20%, 29% of the whole value chain of real estate. The majority of risk is dispersed to other sectors, for example, homeowners. For example, high net worth homeowners, 60%, and 51% of risk comes from regular homeowners. And according to Basel II and SBV regulations, the risk ratio of home buyers is very low. So you can see that the risk-weighted assets for developers only account for 12% of the total assets. I mean, of the total risk-weighted asset of Techcombank. And the risk-weighted asset of the retail segment is only 14%. Why? Because of the high-quality asset. Or we can look at non-performing loans, mortgage, for example. So the number is 0.8%. Or if you look at Vingroup, for example, with high liquidity asset and with the high sales return, the NPL ratio is only 0.2%. But we didn't focus only on real estate. We also concentrate on 6 different economic sectors. For example, travel and leisure. We worked with Vietnam Airlines. We finance around 40% of Vietnam Airlines agencies. We introduced the co-branded Vietnam Airlines cards in order to better serve our end users. That is why we are the market leaders in terms of Visa cards payments. And also we worked on FMCG last year, and this year we started to deal with auto loans. However, we apply the same approach throughout. In terms of FMCG, for example, we provide payment solutions for our end users. And you can see the outstanding numbers on the slide. And you can see here the results of FMCG segment. So, for example, 5 or 6 years ago, we set the budget, or we set the target of growth of 50 or 60%. And people always say to me that, oh, it's very hard. However, people are now getting used to these growth rates more and more. I mean, they are being more ambitious, and they are being more confident about growing continuously. And similarly, telecom, we can grow 60% compared to the same period last year. So you can see that we are diversifying our assets, and we are diversifying the sectors where we are considering. And the second concern, how can we remain our high credit growth? So we focus on low-risk, high-return customers. And at the same time, we developed our capital markets. For example, in 2019, we had provided advisory services to large corporates. We're the market leaders in terms of those financial services. And you can see the volume of corporate bond issued through Techcombank is around 46%. And we helped distribute 34 trillion Vietnam dong bonds of corporate bonds. And for the first half of 2019, we had distributed 24 trillion Vietnam dong in terms of bonds. And Minh Lan also mentioned about non-interest income. And you can see that the non-interest income growth is 22%. And those are some facts that we want to share with you. On the right-hand side, you can see the charts showing that we are complying with the SBV, the State Bank of Vietnam regulations. And the fee income mainly comes from bank assurance, bond issuance, or cards. And the growth of those fee income are very healthy. And the average growth rate of fee income is 90%. And we have launched a lot of programs in order to increase our fee income. And outstandingly, the bank assurance fee income grew by 34%. Our bond underwriting fee income increased by 82%. Our FX sales increased by 51%. So you can see the core businesses of Techcombank with a very healthy growth rates. And we continue to invest on our transaction banking in order to serve the whole value chain and in order to have the higher fee incomes. Or you can see that our numbers of online customer is increasing. And those are the very good advantages that we should take advantage of to grow. And the third concern is about NIM compression. And you can see the NIM, the average NIM of Vietnam is 3.3%. Techcombank interest rate is decreasing due to the shift from WB to BB and PFS customers. And we maintaining our NIM net interest margin at 4.1%. And we became the main bank of many corporates. And if we look at the deposit growth at 8%, and also the CASA ratio increased to 30.4%. And we want to remind you that we want to be the main bank of our customers. And you can see that 20% of the market share in Visa debit purchase volume goes through Techcombank. And the volume of transaction in e-banking increased threefold compared to the same period last year. And on average, we have 100,000 new customers registering to be the Techcombank customers per month. And we're trying to cross-sell and upsell products and services to our customers to increase our profits and revenues. And Ms. Phượng will continue to share with you about the outstanding numbers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Hưng, for sharing with you lots of exciting information and numbers. Over the last 3 years at Techcombank on retail banking, we Techcombank has focused a lot of our resources to bring the best solutions, non-cash solutions for our customers so that we can increase their transaction volumes and to satisfy their daily needs. So the first numbers I'd like to share with you are the number of Visa debit cards and Visa credit cards. So you can see that for the debit cards, the number of cards in the first half of the year increased by about 28% compared to the same period last year. Now for credit cards, we grow by 43% compared to the same period last year. More importantly, the total transaction volume increased more impressively for Visa cards, credit cards. We grew by more than 80% compared to the same period last year, reaching 13 trillion in the first half of the year. For Visa debit cards, our numbers are also equally impressive. We grow by 16% compared to the same period last year, reaching 32 trillion VND worth of volume. With our 1% cashback, like my colleague Hưng just shared with you, for all of our customers when they use our debit cards to pay for their transactions or purchases. So that has helped the spends, the use of cash from 98 to 80% only, whereas the cash ratio of other banks on the market is 95%. We have also focused a lot on digitization so that we can help our customers to make more convenient transactions. We have made every effort to shift our customers from physical channels to online channels, and we have seen impressive growth in terms of transaction volume and the number of customers and the online channel transactions. So you can see that by the end of June 2019, for the first time, we have 2 million customers on our online channels. Like Mr. Hưng just shared with you, in May and June, we hit the record highs of more than 100,000 new customers signing up for online channels per month. More importantly, in the first half of 2019, you can see that every of our customers on all segments, on all retail segments, they have transacted with us more than 37 times in 6 months. And this number has increased by 60% compared to the first half of 2018. Another impressive number that I'd like to share with you is the transaction value or money. For the first half of 2019, we achieved impressive results. 1 billion VND worth of online transactions, which is triple the number of the first half of 2018, where we hit only 318 trillion VND, which is huge growth at Techcombank. All this has led to another impressive growth in our CASA at PFS. In the first half, we had a growth of 68% compared to the same period last year. So obviously, our impressive CASA growth has helped us to gain a very competitive edge in reducing capital mobilizing costs. In the industry, growth is only 9%. If we use this 9% as benchmark, our 68% growth at retail banking has helped us to optimize up to 700 billion worth of deposit costs. And this is one of the businesses that we Techcombank has really focused on according to the milestones that we have listed here. First of all, we launched our zero fee program in September 2016, and the 1% cashback was launched last August. And after all these efforts, the results have arrived in very impressive manner. We do not only reduce our deposit costs, but we also increase transaction volume to grow our customer base continuously. We can also make ourselves become the main bank of a lot of customers, and more importantly, we can increase our market share with 35 trillion worth of CASA in retail banking by end of 2018. We are at 5.8% of all CASA volumes in among local banks, which is one of the impressive number. As we began our transformation in late 2015, the number was only 3.5%. So that means we have grown considerably over the last 3 years. So our strategy execution has also helped us to bring more values to our customers, and at the same time, we have also increased the revenue per our risk-weighted assets. The next information that I'd like to share with you will help you to understand us more. Now, this is a familiar picture that you may see, and like Mr. Hung just said, I'd like to focus on retail banking only. For real estate, we use the value chain approach, and we focus on end users in order to reduce credit risks and concentration risks. So I'd like to repeat that our total loan balance for our mortgages based on value chain is around 62 trillion VND. We have grown 1.9 times since 2016. For both areas, our total risk-weighted asset is only 60% of our total loan balance because the rate is only 56% for end users only. And our non-performing loan ratio is quite low, as you can see the number here on the slide. Every time we talk about real estate, maybe you tend to think that we are playing with fire, but in fact, in reality, we are using fire to cook delicious foods. So the next slide will give you more detailed information about that. Although our mortgage loan balance increased by 1.9 times since 2016, but their assets at Techcombank have increased by 3.9 times since then up to now. And now the number is 19.6 trillion worth of their assets, including savings, bonds, investments, and CASA. 19.5 trillion VND is a total amount of assets of mortgage borrowers at Techcombank. And at the same time, you can see that the revenue from these group customers, not for homes, have also increased over the last 3 years. And in the first half of 2019, all non-mortgage loans account for 26% of their total revenues. And this is gonna be the trend that we will follow to generate more value per our risk-weighted assets. And we also upsell and cross-sell to this group of customers to increase their engagement and to make Techcombank their main bank as well. So these are the main points that we'd like to share with you about the way we execute strategies at Techcombank to show how persistent, transparent, and consistent in the way we execute our strategy since 2016. Now I'd like to invite my colleague, Mr. Bang, our Chief Financial Officer, who will be sharing with you our financial results of the first half of 2019.
Good afternoon. My colleagues have talked a bit about our low-risk, high-return strategy, quite a bit today. Allow me now to show you what that means and how that translates into our financial performance. And that is a trend that's been happening over time. So we're talking a little bit about asset quality first. Sorry, I'll give a moment for everyone to put on their headsets. So very importantly, as my colleagues have shared, as we've redirected our strategy over the last few years and focused our lending in the right areas to the right customers, we've seen a dramatic drop in our non-performing loans. This is also a function of writing off legacy bad debts, but also, again, having higher asset quality in the areas we choose to focus. That's the chart on the top left. Below, as you would expect, or as we would expect as well, by focusing on the right areas and having higher asset quality, our provision expenses have dropped dramatically over the last few years. Again, I would focus the audience more on the trend versus the absolute numbers. If you look at first half, obviously we had very low provisions expenses. I would not say this is an ongoing absolute number, but really it's the trend. The way we manage, again, in terms of asset quality is making sure we're focused on maintaining a target NPL of below 2%, having a coverage ratio of around 75 basis points. But the trend is, again, very positive. But importantly, let me show you how this links ultimately to our financial performance and why we're very excited about this. So you look at the chart on the right, what you're seeing is although our profit before taxes, before provision, has been growing at 24% over the last, from 2016 to 2018, our profit before taxes after provision expenses is growing at a much, much higher rate at 64%. What does this really mean? It means on the lending side, by focusing on the right segments to lend to with the right customers, we're lowering our credit costs. And by lowering our credit costs, we're actually improving the quality of our earnings, both on an absolute basis and also here, as you can see, over time. Okay. Now, bringing this back up to our revenues, my colleagues Hung and Phung talked a lot about the revenue mix. You can see the chart on the left, again, we're seeing and experiencing steady growth in our top line. But the important thing here, again, is the quality and the mix of that. So we talked a bit about today about the quality of our lending, where we're lending to. We're seeing very strong increase in net interest income. A lot of that, again, is a function of lower funding costs, so our net interest margins remain very healthy. On the non-lending side, we're focusing, again, on driving fee income. And that comes in the form of, again, increasing our banca, our cards, our transaction banking, and our bonds. And there, again, we saw 19% year-over-year growth on net fee income. Now, again, that is a trend that reflects an execution of a strategy that took place a few years ago. And that's why we're very excited as we move into showing our results for the first half. That's the chart on the right, is we're very, very pleased with the results we've experienced for the first 6 months. A few things I would note on this, if you look at the non-interest income, again, I mentioned net fee income was up 19% year over year, but we're down a little bit, 3%. And that's because we, again, as I mentioned in previous quarters, enjoyed some liquidity bonds last year that we monetized. So we took an opportunity to get that, and that's part of our non-interest income, but not part of our net fee income. So healthy net fee income growth, but we, again, took advantage of the market conditions last year. I'll touch a second on expenses. We continue to grow. You can see year over year our expenses are up, but that again reflects the ongoing investments we're making in our people, as well as technology to drive our strategy. And again, the strategy here is to maintain a mid-30s cost-to-income ratio, and we were at 35% through the first half of this year. So overall, when you look at the financial picture, very much in line with the execution of our strategy. We're very pleased with it, and it reflects, again, a record first half for the bank. Okay. Tying this together, our goal today was to answer a number of key questions from investors, as well as to provide additional insights into the key drivers that are driving our financial performance, as well as will drive our share price going forward. On our share price, we acknowledge and are committed to improving our engagement with investors to help show a better reflection in our share price that reflects, again, the financial performance as well as the market-leading position we enjoy. So on that point, all evidence would support that our share price is trading well below where it should be. These two analyses just gives you an idea of what of that. The chart on the left, Minh Lan showed a little bit earlier, is two metrics, main profitability metrics of return on equity and return on assets. Again, on that analysis, we show up in the upper right-hand quadrant when compared to best-in-class banks, not only within Vietnam, but across the region. The analysis on the right is very interesting as well. It's the relationship between price to book and return on equity. This is a methodology that is used very commonly to value banks across the globe. On this analysis as well suggests that Techcombank is trading well below where it should be. So to make it simple, if you take our return on equity at the end of last year, which was 21.5%, the analysis would suggest that we should be trading closer to 3.3 times book value versus where we are right now at around the level of 1.8. Translating that into share price, instead of being around 21,000 Vietnam dong per share, it should be closer to 37,000, 38,000 Vietnam dong per share. Now, this doesn't fully capture the differentiated quality of that return on equity or the quality of the earnings, the quality of the strategy. And also over time, as we continue to increase our leverage, because we are very well capitalized and execute on our strategy, we would expect our price to book to increase even further. So in summary, our strategy and our story has not changed since the IPO a year ago. We continue to execute on our strategy, and we continue to experience quarter-over-quarter growth in the business. More importantly, I think what excites the management team coming in every single day is what QA shared with us earlier, and that is our mission to change the way the Vietnamese use money. I think on this metric, and as Phuong shared, we're delighted about our progress, as we see many, many more millions of customers, well, many more hundreds and thousands of customers, and hopefully millions over time, continue to go online to use our digital services and products. And we expect this trend to continue. And we believe that ultimately, by doing this and focusing on our customers, we will continue to drive long-term value for our customers, employees, and our owners. We hope you guys will share, as investors and the audience will share our passion for this mission as we strive to become the primary bank and financial solution provider and partner of choice to our millions of corporate and retail customers. With that, I'll conclude our presentation for today. We'll take a few minutes break, and then we'll go into question and answers. Thank you.
Xin được trân trọng cảm ơn phần trình bày của
We'd like to thank the presentation from all of the management members of Techcombank. And this is our presentation to the reporters and also the media. And you can see that because the meeting here today is for the update of the first half, the business performance of the first half of 2019, but our transformation journey is just the beginning. And we call for your participation in our transformation journey so that we can complete the transformation journey in 2020. And after the tea break, we'll have the Q&A session. And I believe that the whole meeting room will be heated up. And yeah, we would have the 15-minute break. And after that, we'll have the Q&A session. Thank you. And please be back to this meeting room in 15 minutes. And if there is any investors watching us on live stream, please be with us after 15 minutes.